In the late Cretaceous period, roughly 68 to 66 million years ago, Earth was home to some of the most powerful creatures in history. Among them, Tyrannosaurus Rex, a massive predator with jaws lined with razor-sharp teeth, was the terror of the entire ecosystem. Fossil evidence shows that there was virtually no species living alongside it that could remain safe from its devastating bite. Many Triceratops skeletons, and even those of massive sauropods, have been found bearing the distinct tooth marks of T.rex. These marks tell a clear story. T.rex had the power to bring down, or at the very least steal a meal from, a wide variety of prey, ranging from huge horned dinosaurs to gentle herd-dwelling hadrosaurs. And yet, there is one puzzling detail that has left scientists scratching their heads. To this day, no fossilized remains of Ankylosaurus have been found showing evidence of an attack by T.rex. This absence has led to the theory that even the tyrant lizard king may have thought twice before tangling with this creature. And it's not hard to imagine why. Ankylosaurus has long been described as a living tank of the prehistoric world. With a low-slung body encased in thick, bony armor and a massive clubbed tail capable of delivering bone-crushing blows, it posed a challenge that even the largest predator would have to carefully consider. In the next sections, we'll explore why this armored tank may have been one of the few animals capable of making the Cretaceous apex predator hesitate. From its formidable armor plating and deadly tail weapon to the survival strategies and habitats that allowed it to thrive for millions of years. The journey to uncover Ankylosaurus began in the early 20th century, when paleontologists unearthed the first fossils at the Hell Creek Formation, a famous geological layer in the state of Montana, USA. This area is renowned as a gold mine of late Cretaceous fossils, having revealed many iconic dinosaurs such as Tyrannosaurus Rex, Triceratops, and Edmontosaurus. Among the specimens discovered at the time were bones and, most notably, fragments of bony armor plates, osteoderms, that immediately drew scientific attention. The specimen chosen as the holotype was an adult individual whose armor was so thick that it astonished researchers. This remarkable feature inspired the renowned paleontologist Barnum Brown, best known for his discovery of T.rex, to name the new species Ankylosaurus, meaning fused lizard, a reference to the way the armor plates were tightly welded together into an almost impenetrable shield. Its full scientific name, Ankylosaurus magniventris, translates to great belly, describing the unusually broad, rounded underside of the animal. This body structure likely accommodated a massive digestive system, well suited for processing the fibrous plant material common during its time. The discovery also marked an important step in taxonomy. Because it was so different from any previously known armored dinosaurs, Ankylosaurus was placed into an entirely new group, Ankylosauria. This group consists of herbivorous dinosaurs within the order Ornithischia, bird-hipped dinosaurs, all distinguished by fused bony plates protecting their backs and hips. Within this group, Ankylosaurus belongs to the family Ankylosauridae, dinosaurs characterized by large triangular skulls, short necks, broad bodies encased in armor, and, in many cases, a heavy club at the end of the tail. Not only was Ankylosaurus the first species described in this group, but it still holds the title of the largest member ever discovered. Size estimates suggest it could reach lengths of 17 to 33 feet, 5.4 to 10 meters, stand about 5.6 feet, 1.7 meters, tall at the hips, and weigh up to 8 tons, surpassing many other armored dinosaurs. The combination of its massive size and highly developed armor has made Ankylosaurus the defining image of the armored tank of the dinosaur world. Ankylosaurus was among the largest armored dinosaurs to have ever existed, boasting proportions that were impressive even when compared to the other giants of its time. Studies estimate its body length ranged from 17.7 to 33 feet, 5.4 to 10 meters, with a height of about 5.6 feet, 1.7 meters at the hips, and a body mass between 5 and 8 tons. Surprisingly, although Ankylosaurus did not stand as tall or stretch as long as Triceratops, it may have been even heavier. The reason lay in its incredibly stocky build, with dense bone structure and, most notably, a formidable suit of armor covering much of its body. This armor consisted of knobs and plates of bone, called osteoderms, distributed from the snout all the way to the tip of the tail. They were arranged in varying shapes and sizes, with the heaviest concentration likely in the most vulnerable areas such as the neck and shoulders, where maximum protection was needed. Elsewhere, smaller plates formed a continuous protective layer, maintaining the dinosaur's mobility while still providing strong defense against powerful attacks. What's particularly fascinating is that the osteoderms of Ankylosaurus differed from those of many other armored dinosaurs. They were thinner, but with a hollow underside that formed a natural dome shape. This design functioned much like an architectural arch, increasing strength and allowing the plates to better withstand compressive forces. When subjected to a heavy impact, such as the bite of a predator, this domed structure would disperse the force across the surrounding area, rather than concentrating it in one spot. Beneath the armor lay a dense and durable network of collagen fibers. These fibers not only anchored the armor securely to the body, but also acted as a shock-absorbing cushion. Collagen further supported the ligaments and even played a role in repairing damage when injuries occurred. Compared to modern armored animals such as crocodiles or pangolins, the collagen fibers of Ankylosaurus were significantly thicker and stronger, making it virtually immune to the effects of even the most forceful blows. The combination of its powerful, compact frame, sophisticated armor, and internal shock-absorbing structures made Ankylosaurus a true, living fortress. For predators like Tyrannosaurus Rex, attacking a fully grown individual was almost the same as putting themselves in harm's way. In addition to the formidable armor that covered its body, Ankylosaurus carried another fearsome weapon, its massive clubbed tail. This structure was composed of two large fused osteoderms forming the central mass, two smaller plates at the tip, and a row of smaller osteoderms running along the midline of the tail. Well-preserved fossils show that the club could be up to 22 inches, 57 centimeters wide, and weigh around 50 pounds, 23 kilograms, heavy enough to deliver devastating damage, yet still light enough for Ankylosaurus to swing quickly thanks to a powerful tail musculature and ossified tendons that kept the tail rigid like a steel rod. Biomechanical studies suggest that a single swing from the tail of a fully grown Ankylosaurus could generate an impact force exceeding 20,000 newtons, a figure capable of breaking the bones of most animals, including top predators such as Tyrannosaurus Rex. For comparison, a professional baseball player's bat swing delivers about 54 newtons per second, meaning the strike of an Ankylosaurus was roughly 370 times more powerful. This incredible force has sparked an ongoing debate in the scientific community. Was the tail club primarily an anti-predator defense, or was it evolved for combat between members of the same species? Evidence from close relatives, such as Zool crurivastator, shows injuries to ribs and hips consistent with blows from another tail club, suggesting that one-on-one duels for dominance may have been common. Even so, many researchers believe the weapon also served as a defensive tool when necessary. Indirect evidence comes from a more distant relative, Stegosaurus, which wielded a spiked tail, Thagomizer, and is known to have inflicted serious injuries on the predator Allosaurus. Likewise, in today's natural world, many animals possess structures evolved mainly for intraspecific competition, like deer antlers or antelope horns, but will still use them to fend off predators when threatened. It is therefore highly likely that Ankylosaurus employed its tail club in both scenarios, as a sledgehammer in battles over territory or mates, and as a trump card to escape the jaws of the Cretaceous' largest hunters. With its wide rearward reach and crushing power, any T.rex attempting to attack from behind risked suffering a crippling injury, a danger great enough to make even the tyrant king abandon the fight in favor of easier prey. As adults, Ankylosaurus had virtually no natural predators. Their heavily built bodies, dense armor plating, and tail clubs capable of breaking bones made them living fortresses in the dinosaur world. Thanks to these defenses, mature individuals typically lived solitary lives, relying on their own strength rather than the safety of a herd like many other herbivorous species. They could forage at a leisurely pace, moving slowly without much concern about being hunted. For juveniles, however, the story was entirely different. In their early years, their armor was not yet fully developed, and their tail clubs were far from the crushing weapons of adulthood. This left them vulnerable to predators such as Tyrannosaurus Rex or smaller pack-hunting dromaeosaurs. To minimize these risks, young Ankylosaurus often banded together, moving and foraging in small groups for protection. Unlike large herbivores such as Hadrosaurus or modern elephants, Ankylosaurus did not function as an ecosystem engineer. It did not drastically reshape its environment through feeding or movement. They didn't fell large trees or carve new paths through forests. Instead, their survival strategy relied on individual defense and adaptability to available food sources. Their diet primarily consisted of ferns, low shrubs, and other vegetation growing close to the ground. Studies estimate that an adult may have needed around 130 pounds, 60 kilograms of food each day, similar to the daily intake of a large elephant. Occasionally, they may have eaten fruits or accidentally ingested small animals trapped within the vegetation. To process such large quantities of plant matter, Ankylosaurus had a narrow beak well suited for stripping leaves and twigs. Their conical teeth were adapted for slicing and crushing vegetation into smaller pieces before swallowing. Inside the body, digestion operated through hindgut fermentation, similar to modern rhinos and horses. This process required a large fermentation chamber to house symbiotic bacteria capable of breaking down tough plant fibers, a role likely filled by the species' notably broad, rounded belly. Beyond digestion, their senses played an important role in survival. The structure of the nasal passages and the large size of the olfactory bulbs suggest a keen sense of smell, capable of detecting spoiled food or locating hidden plant matter beneath thick ground cover. This acute sense of smell also acted as an early warning system, allowing them to detect predators from a distance, an important advantage given their relatively poor eyesight. Ankylosaurus moved at a slow pace, with top speeds likely comparable to a human walking speed, and could only accelerate in moments of danger. But in truth, speed was unnecessary. With their unmatched defenses, they had little need to run. Although Ankylosaurus was one of the most impressive armored dinosaurs of the late Cretaceous, it was actually rare in the fossil record. In famous formations such as Hell Creek, Ankylosaurus fossils account for only about 1% of all specimens recovered. This suggests that the species never existed in the same large numbers as Triceratops or Edmontosaurus. The reasons may have included slow reproductive rates, small clutch sizes, and solitary habits, all of which kept population density low. Such low numbers also made Ankylosaurus more vulnerable to major environmental upheavals. When the mass extinction event struck around 66 million years ago, triggered by the impact of a massive asteroid on the Yucatan Peninsula, the global ecosystem plunged into crisis. In the aftermath, vast wildfires erupted, sweeping quickly across the plains and forests where Ankylosaurus lived. With their slow movement and heavy bodies, these dinosaurs had little chance of escaping fast-moving fires, especially when access to safe water sources was limited. Beyond the immediate threat of fire, Ankylosaurus suffered from the long-term environmental changes that followed. Dust and volcanic ash from the impact shrouded the atmosphere, blocking sunlight and drastically reducing plant growth, their primary food source. As vegetation collapsed, the entire terrestrial food chain unraveled. For a species that needed around 130 pounds, about 60 kilograms, of plants each day, this was an insurmountable challenge. When the last individuals disappeared, a significant chapter in the evolutionary history of armored dinosaurs came to a close. However, their extinction did not mark the end of giant reptiles. In the millions of years that followed, other reptile groups, from massive crocodilians to giant tortoises, evolved to fill some of the ecological roles left vacant by Ankylosaurus and its dinosaur kin. Still, the image of the living tank of the Cretaceous remains an enduring symbol of defensive strength in nature, a reminder that even in a world of fearsome predators, perfect defense could ensure survival for millions of years until nature changed the rules. If you enjoy stories about legendary creatures that once ruled the earth, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next one.